Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Great. How are you guys?
Good, good. Yeah, we're just hanging out. We're in my living room.
Right on. Thank you so much for doing this. So our podcast is about your guys' journey in music and how you got to where you are now.
Cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, is that an Orbit?
A what?
Is that an Orbit, your vinyl?
Oh, it's a Victorlo.
Okay.
It's a cheap player. It's like it looks cool because it's white, but it's cheap. But it plays records, so that's cool. I have a much nicer one downstairs, but that one just looks clean, so we go that way. Cool, guys. Yeah, so again, this is all about your journey in music and how you guys got to where you are now. Obviously, you're brothers and twin brothers, so pretty similar growing up, I'm sure, childhood and whatnot. So why don't you guys tell me about growing up? You're both from Santa Monica?
Actually, we're from a town called in Northern California called Davis.
Oh, I know where that is. I'm in San Diego.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are from Davis?
Yeah, so we grew up in Davis, and then we lived in Santa Monica for a long time. We started the band in Santa Monica.
Okay.
So we're kind of like a Santa Monica band, but yeah, we grew up in Davis, which is just a nice suburb college town, and we actually grew up playing sports.
Oh.
Yeah. We didn't.
I'm sorry?
What was the question?
I was wondering, tell me about growing up in Davis.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, we're just, it's a nice suburb. I mean, what is Davis? It's known for biking. Like you bike everywhere. There's a lot of bike lanes. It's kind of granola vibe.
Okay.
You'll see like a lot of REI backpacks and like Tevas. I used to call it like a mini port. It's like a mini Portland.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, it's like yeah. What's the fleece jacket? REI, Tevas. Academic campus college.
Members only, I think is what you're thinking of.
Oh, members only jacket.
Is that the jacket? Oh no. Yeah. What's the jacket? I don't know. I think I know. Is it like the puffy?
No, like fleece. Like.
Oh, sure. Okay. Right on. Well, tell me. Okay, so how'd you guys get into music?
Yeah, so I think we grew up kind of playing sports. So we played soccer through junior high, and then high school we were playing golf more seriously. But I think just naturally, I think in junior high, I think I started getting into music a little bit, just liking music in general. We were late bloomers. Like Zach in high school kind of joined the radio club, and he started getting more into singing, and you had like everything you need to know about the music business book, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I went and got that at the library. Like, I think I read the first chapter or something. As if you're gonna like become this record. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be like this record mogul. but yeah, so Zach he was more into it, and then basically by the time you got to college, you were full on singing. Yeah, I got into choir. I was like obsessed with, like acoustic guitar and stuff like that. So, and then I kind of followed. I kind of followed that, and became obsessed with guitar. Just music. I guess around the age of 19. So a little bit later, but it just came a lot more naturally. We were both kind of not great athletes. We weren't really sure where we fit, and that was the one thing that just really clicked for us. Yeah, it was like the first time in our lives we were like naturals. Or we felt like we were good. We felt like we were good, yeah.
Uh-huh.
The teachers were saying like, "Whoa, you're good," which was a good feeling.
Sure. And did you guys, when you start playing, did you guys start writing songs together?
Yeah, pretty immediately. Basically,
really?
Junior, like when we were like 19, 20 in college, We started, I think like we went through our Radiohead phase.
Oh, sure. Okay.
As does everyone in college, you know.
Yeah, it's like college. It's totally the place to discover Radiohead.
Which is weird, because when I listen to Radiohead now, I'm just like, I can really appreciate it, but I'm just like, what is this? Like,
Right.
really out there, you know.
Yeah.
At this point, it's too sad, like, for me to listen to, but I still appreciate them very much.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we got into Radiohead, and then we got really into Coldplay, and we were just kind of talking about this. Coldplay was like the first band where we were just like, wait, we should do something, like we can do that. Yeah, we might be able to pull that off. Not that we actually. It started. You may not be as proud of it, but it started with like the Coldplay, Jack Johnson. You know, Central California. That's where we started. And
Sure.
then it quickly moved into like Radiohead, and then I got really into classical. I have a degree in music with an emphasis in classical guitar.
Oh, wow.
And Zach was a vocal, like majored in vocal. Like, yeah, my instrument was singing, but
where'd you guys go to college, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, we started out at Cal Poly.
Okay, the one in San Luis Obispo.
Oh yeah, San Luis Obispo, and then we finished at Northridge.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We were in LA, you know, we were young, about 19. We were young, yeah. We didn't know what we were doing, but we're like, we need to move to LA. We went to the Valley. You know, you got to do 2 years in the Valley. If you come to LA, you got to do 2 years in the Valley. You're not a true LA. Yeah, I don't have respect for you if you just move straight to Venice Beach, straight to one.
That's funny.
But you guys move. So you're living the good life. You're living that good life down there.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all right.
Western Pacific Beach. I don't know which area.
I'm in northern North County,
okay.
Like northeast, Rancho Bernardo. I don't know if you're familiar. We're pretty much like 5 miles east of like Solana Beach and like the nice rich areas, but we're like way inland.
Yeah.
So yeah, if
you're not that close to the beach.
No, it takes like 20 minutes to get to the beach because of how the freeways are. If there was like a direct line, you could probably do it in 10 minutes, but
yeah, it just 20 minutes isn't bad.
It's not horrible. No, don't get me wrong, but but we're not like right there on the water or anything fun like that.
San Diego, that's what you think, you know.
Yeah, totally. So you guys were in LA. You were going to school in Northridge. And what were you guys already playing together? Like trying to play out in the LA area? Yeah. So we started booking shows. We started playing in Northridge at a place called Cobalt Cafe. We played at the Cobalt, which it was a really popular venue in Northridge. There's, just a lot of bands went through there. A lot of hardcore bands played there. I'm not sure what the vibe was, but we ended up booking shows at like the Knitting Factory, and we played the Whiskey A Go-Go, like Whiskey once or twice. Wow. Well, it was like pay to play type. It was where you had to sell a certain amount of tickets. Yeah.
It was probably a Monday night. I think when we moved to LA, we didn't know any better, and we just felt like we needed to play shows. Mm-hmm. Obviously, now, looking back, when you're 19, you're just like, we need to book shows. You start emailing like venues, and then they give you like the 11:30 slot, and it's like pay to play. And you have to sell tickets to all your friends. Yeah. So you don't sell $200 worth of tickets, you pay out of pocket. It's really kind of, I don't recommend. No, yeah, you got to pay your dues, Yeah. That's where we started.
Just playing as many places as you could, and then whenever you got the chance, maybe do a whiskey show where you have to find $200 worth of people to get in there or whatnot. Yeah. Okay.
We were doing like Battle of the Bands and stuff like that, but we really we didn't play a ton of shows. We never went on tour or anything. We were just kind of trying to figure it out.
Okay. And then how did you what was the first song you guys put up online? How did that ball start getting rolling?
Yeah, so we just kind of kept chipping away. We had different bands, different projects. We had a band called Library Forest. We had a band called Kid. They were just projects. Projects, yeah.
Projects.
And then
but always with you two in the band. with other people, or yeah?
It was just us two, and then when we played live, we would ask our friends to play bass and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then basically a new project was Oregon Bike Trails, which was just an idea I had, and wrote like 3 or 4 songs. And this was back in 2011. Posted them online. The blogs started sharing them. They did really, like, we had never really experienced this. Blogs were passing them around. We were getting blogger emails and can we put this on our blog and stuff. And that was really cool. This was 2011. And so that was Oregon Bike Trails. That was the band name. We had 3 or 4 songs. And over the course of like the next 3 to 6 months, we basically like had a manager, a booking agent, and a record deal.
Whoa.
Without ever really playing a show as Oregon Bike Trails.
Just from the success of the streaming and the song going online. Wow.
3 or 4 songs posted online. It was kind of crazy. Which is kind of it's kind of the opposite way. You know, most people, I mean, we had grinded it out, but people are playing shows and, you know, building a following, and ours was more just off the song. Yeah, ours was like, we had like a really good booking agent, like right off the bat. He's like, "Do you guys want to open up for Gautier at the Satellite?" Which like, I couldn't believe it. You know, like, one of them was, "Do you want to open up for Alt J?" And Alt J at the Bootleg, and we were late, so we didn't. We missed the show.
Oh my gosh! Alt J and Gautier. Wow.
Yeah, Alt J, Gautier. We were getting all these like, oh my god, because we were buzzy, you know. And we were living in Santa Monica in a dingy apartment. Zach, our live show was nothing. I was playing acoustic guitar. Zach was on a laptop. I pressed play. I had the songs queued up on iTunes. Like we were trying to figure it out. We were rusty. We hadn't played shows, and we didn't have a band. It was like, "Hey, do you want to open up for Gautier?" We're like, "Hell yeah, we do." And then we would show up, you know, we would just kind of have this acoustic set, and it was like, but that doesn't sound like the song we heard on, you know.
Yeah, in the recording.
It was we were definitely, we had to catch up on the live. Yeah, but we slowly but surely started adding players, and over the course of like 3 to 6 months, we had five guys, and we were playing proper live shows in Santa Monica and stuff. Yeah, it was a very quick learning curve. We had to really kick it in gear quickly.
Yeah, that's interesting, because there's a lot of bands that are just a duo that have to kind of do the same thing, where it's like, build around what they've already built and then trying to translate that to a live show. It can be difficult, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's 2 parts of being in a band. It's like the songs you record and you release, and then the live show. They're like totally 2 separate skill sets. Yeah, kind of. And a lot of artists, they do kind of become popular off a song, and then they have to figure out, oh, how are we going to play this live? That's kind of what we had to figure out, which was tricky.
Especially with like a song that's like viral, you know, you might some people might not just be ready for it. Like, wait, what? This song just got blown up out of nowhere. Now, how do I handle it? Yeah.
And there's people that came to some of the very first shows that still talk about it. Like, oh my God, remember that one time you guys played the Echo with, you know, 1 acoustic guitar and a chair? Oh shit, you're at that? You know, like.
That's cool. So those were the early shows, and that was with Oregon Bike Trails?
Yeah, it was Oregon Bike Trails, but we quickly, once we signed a record deal, the record label thought we should probably change the name to make the music a little better. And we had a song called Cayucas, and the guy who runs the label was like, "What about Cayucas as the band name?" We're like, "That's a pretty good idea."
That's a cool name for sure.
Yeah, we're like that makes sense, you know. So we didn't put up a fight. Like, we didn't put up much of a fight, you know. Oregon Bike Trails wasn't crushing it, you know. We weren't like, that's the best band name ever. Like, why would you want to change that? But so we just kind of changed it. It kind of, Cayucas kind of fit the vibe better, more of a California, you know, thing that we were kind of going for. We played quite a few gigs as Oregon Bike Trails. Yeah. 2011, 12, yeah.
And then when you guys signed, that's when you changed to Cayucas?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Was that difficult to get people, like, you had a viral song with Oregon Bike Trails, and now you're a different name. Was that hard to translate to your fans?
It happened pretty quickly though. Yeah, but to the people that know Oregon Bike Trails, there's every once in a while you get like Oregon Bike Trails for life, but it happened so quickly that it wasn't a big enough. Yeah, we were still early. We didn't have that big a fan base.
Okay.
To where people were like, but there are some diehard people that go like, I knew you guys when you were Oregon Bike Trails, you know, and it's like, oh, sweet, yeah, you're a true fan.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when you guys changed your name, you're signed to a record label at this point. What was the label that you guys signed to? Was that Secretly Canadian? Was that label at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys signed with them. And what was the first thing that they did for you? Did you guys record a record? They put you on the road?
Yeah. Yeah. So we did our first record just right off the bat. We just kind of got in the studio and started recording. And they helped facilitate that. Yeah, we were kind of, I mean, they did a lot. Like we were kind of trying to figure out, they really wanted us to put a band together. And we got in the studio with Richard Swift, who produced our first record. And we were a huge Richard Swift fans, so it kind of, Richard Swift was on the label. They said, you guys should get in the studio with Richard Swift. I'm not sure where that originated, but we were on board. Partially because he could play everything. He could play all the instruments, yeah. So we didn't have to bring in like studio musicians and stuff. So it was like, yeah, it was kind of like, you guys should go down to Richard Swift, record a record, and like he worked really quick. He does like one song a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we did an entire record in about 2 weeks, and then we were like kind of ready to go. Yeah, that was it.
So you put the record together, and that was Bigfoot?
Yeah, that was Bigfoot.
And then you guys, did you tour on that album right away? After the record's finished, like, what was the game plan for them?
We waited to release the album. That was 2012. Yeah, we recorded early 2012, and it didn't come out till 2013 spring.
Oh, interesting. What was there a reason for hiding it or holding it?
Yeah, we had zero. I remember they were like, "Well, you guys, if you release it today, you have 0 fans," because we were just too new, and so it worked out. And then by the time the album came out, yeah, I mean, we toured that album insanely, like just 2-3 years of, yeah. But a lot of times, like, we finish the record and you're ready to go. We've got a record, we're ready to hit the road, you know, take on the world. And they say, like, we want to kind of push it to 2013 spring. And in a year, like when someone says, like, we want to push this a year, I remember thinking, like, a year? Like, what the hell are we going to do for a year?
Right.
But then you kind of fill your schedule, and then you sort of say, like, yeah, we want this album to come out before summer because it's a summer record. And you can kind of understand where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that was kind of 2012. We were kind of putting together a band, playing shows, started touring locally. Yeah, local shows. Mm-hmm. Getting ready to hit, do the whole shebang. To like 2013, we were going to really hit the road and start promoting the record.
So when the record came out, that's when the tours started? Yeah,
2013, like we started touring like February, March, and the record came out in April. 2013.
Oh, wow.
We just started touring, like we toured like 2 years straight. We were getting a lot of awesome support tours.
I was going to ask, what was like the first tour that you got put on to promote the record?
I remember it very distinctly. It was Ra Ra Riot.
Oh, wow.
We drove from LA to Vancouver and started there, and we practiced, we practiced way too much, and that's what, and those were really nice venues and stuff. And it was a total, mind blown. Yeah, we weren't playing, these were like really nice theaters and stuff. 800,000 people in a room, and that was way bigger than anything we'd ever done. And so we were like on top of the world basically.
Was that scary? I mean, going out to the first show on tour, and it's thousands of people or 1,000 people.
1,000 people, and when you're used to playing like for 30 people or something, whatever, small, even like 100 people, it just felt like insane. It just felt huge. Sometimes we go back to those venues and they don't feel as crazy as when they did that first time we played them. But Anything over like a few hundred people, it starts to feel really. It was really exciting though, yeah, because the like the Ra Ra Riot fans are really fun, super nice, and a lot of energy. But it was, yeah, it was pretty nerve wracking.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like if you guys were just playing smaller local shows and then now you're on like a big tour and you're playing to a big room full of people, I'm sure it's quite different.
A couple beers, you know, we were knocking them back in the green room.
There you go.
We tried to find a sweet spot, you know, two beers, just kind of,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that was a lot of fun in the beginning.
Yeah. And the next record you guys did was Dancing at the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the milestone? Was there like a milestone from that album you can remember?
Yeah, I think like once our first tour on that record was just an awesome tour. We bumped up the venues and we were just playing good rooms and we were headlining good rooms, which was kind of, that was like one of our best tours. We just played really solid rooms and we had a really good live show and it was just, yeah, just a good time.
Do you remember like when you guys graduated from being the support act to now you're headlining your first tour?
Yeah.
Was that the record that happened on?
Record, yeah. So we were playing like in LA. We played the El Rey.
Oh wow!
Oh my God, we're playing El Rey. Like, we better practice. Yeah. Walking. I remember like when we got to the El Rey to play, we walked in to load, and I was just like, oh my God, like how the hell are we gonna get this many people to show up? You know? But like, it just felt huge. Like how the hell are we gonna get 1,000 people to come to a show tonight? Like, but somehow it works out. But yeah, we were playing bigger rooms. Like we played the El Rey. We played the Independent in San Francisco.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Yeah, like, you know, just to have like 500-600 people at your show was kind of like, that was kind of the milestone in that record.
That's cool. I love the Independent. I used to live in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the first time I ever went there actually was to see Gautier. He played Independent. It's just funny that you said that.
Yeah, that's a great room.
Yeah, it's a cool spot for sure. Wow, so headlining shows, doing the El Rey, playing the Independent, and then from there, I mean, you had a few years in between the two records. Were you just touring and working on new stuff in between that in the 2019 album?
Yeah, so like I think 2000, maybe 17, 18, we kind of took a little bit of a break and just kind of chilled out for a little bit while we kind of started chipping away on new songs.
Mm-hmm.
We were by that time, like we've been kind of touring since 2012, kind of grinding it, and that at this point it was about 2016. Yeah, 16. So we were kind of, I wouldn't say burnt out, but we were kind of, we needed like 6 months. It took 4 years to come up with an album that excited us.
Yeah.
And then,
so that's what for that next record. I mean, I can imagine you guys being pretty burnt out. I mean, you put out 2 albums, you're touring for years straight. Yeah.
But yeah. So now we're kind of at this point, we're on onto our 4th album, but.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited and stuff, but yeah, there was a little period where we were kind of just chilling for like 6 months to a year, and then we kind of got excited about a song, a demo, and then we started chipping away at that, and then you get in the studio. We got in the studio with a really cool producer, and it's a slow build, Mm-hmm. We definitely needed that little break. Yeah, I think it was nice to have a break, to just be like, no expectation. Like, I'm not worried about anything, not worried about writing a song or anything. And then all of a sudden, like one day you get inspired and you write a song and you're like, oh, this is cool. Like, let's start. Let's, like you have a direction.
Right. Do you remember what song that was on the record that kind of changed it for you? Yeah,
that was on our 3rd record, Real Life, the song Winter of '98. It was the first song. Yeah, it was the first song. I think I just kind of pieced together a little demo. And I think we were both like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is different. And we kind of got excited about doing something a little bit more pop, a little more electronic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, you know, we were definitely throwing a curveball, but we were excited. And that's kind of, you got to be excited, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that record came out last year.
Yeah, that came out in 2019, but so like we spent 2018 recording it, and then it comes out in 2019. So it's, you know, it's a slow grind, the music.
Yeah.
You know.
But were you able to tour? I mean, since the album came out last year and then pretty quickly into this year, it like, you know, everything shut down. So I was just wondering if you had a chance to tour it since it, you know, it had just came out.
Right. Well, we got pretty lucky because it came out last spring, 2019 spring.
We toured
and we toured all the way through the summer
of last year.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we were all good, and then come like October, November, we were taking a sort of a, you know, we weren't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of got excited about a new direction, new songs. And we were like, okay, let's start working on this, and then we can release it in 2020. And so that's when kind of like February, March was when we were kind of halfway through writing a new record. Yeah, I think like we probably could have toured more on the last record, but we were just basically going with the momentum that it kind of chilled out a little bit, and we were kind of like, let's start working on something new.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, COVID kind of came February, March, and we were like halfway through recording the record. but it was fine. Like we weren't like, I feel bad for the bands that were like releasing a record.
A lot of bands were like
they're
getting ready to do some
getting ready to do like a national tour.
Yeah.
We just had to cancel it.
I've talked to some artists that were like on the road or like out of the country when it hit, and then like Trump comes out and says, you know, we're closing the borders down. They thought they had like 24 hours to get home, and like I've heard some pretty gnarly stories about it.
Yeah,
some of our friends were in Europe.
Yeah. And luckily we were just at home like recording new music, so we weren't really.
In my mind, I had like this great fall tour lined up, which would be now.
Okay.
A year ago, so that obviously didn't happen, but
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you guys were you are already working on this next record. What about, so with Yeah, was that the first song you put out on of this new stuff, the new single?
Yeah.
And did that come out prior to
when did
coronavirus and all that stuff?
In June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like
that's kind of when we finished the album, but we were ready to release that single anyways because it'd been done for a while. So.
Yeah, it'd been done like a month or two, and we were like, luckily we recorded it, mixed it ourselves, we mastered it, and so it was like kind of ready to go. And our label was kind of like, let's just get, you know, they move quickly, so we were able to just kind of release it.
There's no reason to hold on to it. Just kind of
there was like back in March, April, a lot of artists were like postponing things, like let's release our music like in fall or you know, like, and then I think a lot of bands were just like, let's just release it now, you know.
Yeah,
for a band too, that's the last thing you want to do is something you're excited about. You want to get push it out there, and people are still listening to music, you know. Obviously, you can't tour an album right now, but you know, people are still consuming music.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's a ton of music coming out right now.
It's kind of a lot of music.
Yeah. It's
yeah, a lot of people are releasing stuff. I think in the very beginning, people were hesitant and they tried to like, oh, maybe if we hold off and like you said, we can play in October or something. Yeah. And then that didn't happen. Okay, well, let's just get rid of it, or not get rid of it, but like get it out there to the.
That's what we were doing. We were like, you know, a lot of bands were like, let's just play it safe and just kind of shelve this and wait till things kind of. And then after about a month or two, like April, May, people were like, this isn't really going anywhere. Let's just adapt.
Yeah.
And just kind of release it, and just kind of, we'll do, you know, you do different types of shows, and you just kind of adapt. And it's actually going really well. Like this release, like it's going surprisingly well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the streams on it on Spotify, and you have a ton already on just even the new stuff, like the really new stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about now. You guys, you have a whole album, you said, recorded and ready to go. The new record's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That comes out
It
September.
comes out in a
25th.
week, so yeah.
Okay. And what about since you pretty much finished the record and then COVID hit? Like, have you guys been writing? Like, what did you have anything creative to keep going with? I know you just did all this work on a record and now everyone's stuck inside to sit around. So
Yeah.
was that
no,
like
that's
something
funny
you were
because-
able to take advantage of, or?
Yeah, I think when we were like, I'd say 75% done with the album when COVID hit, we had nothing but time, and it actually helped us finish the album.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we kind of worked our butts off to finish this album, but it was good. I mean, that was the only positive because we had nothing else to do, and we were kind of forced to kind of finish it.
Otherwise, we would have been distracted. We would
have got coffee. We would have delayed.
We weren't going out anymore. Like we would have been drinking more. But yeah, we were just kind of stuck at home, and we like wrote. Well, we basically recorded 4 songs in the month of April. We just kind of finished a record, which we've never been that productive. Like
Okay. So you guys were still there was still stuff to be done.
Yeah.
When it happened. Okay, that was kind of I didn't know time wise if you had everything done and recorded, and now you're like, okay, well now we can't do anything. So
right.
You know what I mean?
It was actually a good catalyst for us because we didn't. There's nothing else to do, so it was like we just stayed home. We didn't want to go out.
Right.
We're OCD as it is, like we didn't want to do anything, so we just stayed home and recorded.
Very cool. And you guys just released California Girl. That's the most recent song in the video and everything for that. Tell me about that song.
Yeah, so that was kind of like, I think, that song started off with like the drum and bass. We had this, I built this kind of cool groove, and I was using like a 1-4-5 bass line, which felt very 60s, felt very classic. And I was like, this sound, for some reason, it just felt fresh. Like, I don't think a lot of songwriters would think that feels fresh, a 1-4-5 bass line, but I think to us, we were just like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like, I haven't heard a bass line like that.
Yeah, I think it sounded it sounded good again.
Yeah, it sounded good.
Which it's been a while since that sounded good.
Yeah. So that the song, kind of was built off the drum and bass, and I don't know, California Girl just popped in my head and seemed to be fitting, and it was just like a basic song about it's Friday night, you're bored, you kind of want to go out, but you have nowhere to go, so you just kind of hop in your car and you go cruising, and maybe the windows are rolled down. And you're just kind of doing something, like, you're out and you're just kind of looking for some fun, looking for something magically to happen, So that's kind of that's sort of that song.
Yeah, the video too goes like hand in hand with it. It's like how you guys shot it. It looks like it's filmed in the 60s, and the style of it and everything. Was that filmed during quarantine?
Yeah, that was filmed like
not very
3
long
weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We rented the car and we just started. Our friend Tim shot it, and we just kind of cruised down PCH. It's quarantine friendly, It's like we were trying to think of what we can do, in these times to shoot a music video, which is kind of tricky. And we're kind of like that kind of, we were just like, we can do this, we can get in the car and shoot it.
Yeah, and then there's like you play in the back of the truck, and there's just elements that you're able to do because you're not around anyone. So to speak.
You don't see it cut, and we all put on our face masks.
Yeah, awesome. And then you said the record comes out next week.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of on the album?
I think
that's a heavy question.
I think we're just proud of. I'm proud. Like, this is technically my first producer credit. So
that's
this
cool.
record, I give myself a producer credit. I hope that ends up online somewhere. Allmusic.com. I have an obsession with AllMusic, so I want to be on AllMusic as a producer.
Okay.
I think we just kind of. I'm just proud that we kind of were able to record write and record an entire album just on our own at our home studio, and just kind of.
And it's album 4, so
Yeah.
it's you can it's easy to like kind of throw in the towel too, So
Mm-hmm.
we still love making albums, and so I'm happy that we've made it this far.
And you guys, you said you produced that at home. Did you record it all there too, or did you record it at different spots?
Yeah, we recorded it all right here where I'm sitting.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Is that the first album you've recorded all by yourselves?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Was that tell me about that process? Was that different since you don't have like a producer telling you, hey, this, giving you tips and hints and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, and
Zach's always been kind of a producer.
Yeah, I've always been kind of
type, like, but we've always taken it into the studio. So
yeah.
So it wasn't like some huge. This time though, when we finished a song, basically our studio's gotten so much better over the years, and stuff. We were like, the song is finished. It doesn't need to go into another studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were going for just pure vibe on this record. So if it sounded kind of shitty, we were okay with that.
That's cool. Yeah.
If it sounded bad, we were okay with that. And so sometimes when you go into a studio, you lose something. You gain something, but you can also lose some of that vibe. And this album, we wanted just pure like 100% mood vibe.
You didn't want it to be too polished and
right.
Like studio sounding.
The whole album. We didn't want to lose anything, and we it's a lot of work getting across the finish line. It's really easy to get to that like 60-70% of a
Producers,
song.
that's the producer. That's their main asset. Is like they can get you across the finish line. They finish the song. They get like, we're done. Get out of the studio. We're done. Like kick you out and stuff.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because it's easy to get to like 70% of a song is finished. It's that last like 20, 10% where you have to really kind of push. And
we also have, if it's on, like we do this thing too, and probably a lot of artists do that, where when the song starts to get when you're working on a song for too long and then it starts to get a little bit worse, that's when you know you're done. Like,
okay.
Time to stop.
I was just gonna ask you, Zach, like producing this, for the first time, between just the two of you guys, was it hard to find? Did you land in that situation where you like almost like overproduce the song or putting too many effects, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened now? I got to strip it all back.
This would be we need a whole separate podcast just on this subject.
Yeah. I think on the last record, I learned a lot about just cutting. For me, everything has to be balanced, like 2 verses, 2, like the verses 2, the choruses 2, the post-chorus is, everything has to be like equal.
Uh-huh.
And our last producer was like, no, it needs to stop like right here. I'm getting bored right here. And I'd be like, but that's only 3 bars. You can't do that. Like, it has to be.
And then you'd be like, Bon Jovi did it.
One time he was like, yeah, it worked for Bon Jovi. And I was like, which song? What song? And then Living on Prayer. Yeah, he cuts it. It's like 3 bars or something. He cuts it short. We became obsessed with that. A
lot of pop songs. Yeah, there's these little tricks.
Why don't I say Lionel Richie? He did it. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've heard from people that there's like kind of a formula, like a pop radio formula, and like some of these genres have that.
Yeah. The one thing I thought was like everything had to be like 4 bars, 8 bars. It was always an even number. It's like, no, it can be 7 bars. Once it starts to get boring, then you can just cut it and just go into the chorus. And that was a hard thing, like for me to kind of wrap my head around, but it's very useful. So a lot of these songs, I would throw a lot of stuff at it. I would be playing all these weird instruments. I'd have a harpsichord, a theremin, and then a lot of times Ben would be like, no, like you got to cut that, get rid of that. And a lot of it was just subtracting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
having everything and then just seeing what it sounded like as you
subtract it.
And then you're out and you're like, oh wait, it's better with minus that.
Yeah, you're like,
sure.
This one's better just bass and drum. There was piano, guitar, harpsichord, a flute, and then you're just like,
oh, I guess, yeah. You take the flute away and you're like, okay, I like that. You slowly subtract. A lot of subtraction.
Okay, that's cool. Well, so
Yeah.
the record's coming out. Have you guys done any like live streaming things to promote it, or do you have any interest in that?
We did we've done a couple live streams. We did a really cool live stream with bands in town.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they have a really cool live stream for artists we did. And we were just actually talking to the label, and we're planning to do a live show October, November.
Really?
Yeah, so it'll be a live show, but it's a ticketed event, so you can buy a ticket, you can watch us live. And we haven't really announced this, but I think it might be at the Bootleg in LA. And people will just be able to watch us live, watch a full set live.
Like online?
Online, yeah.
Okay, so you guys will be at the Bootleg in LA performing to
Right.
like the empty room, and then you'll have cameras and such going live. That's cool though.
Yeah, I mean,
It's probably pretty exciting to be able to actually go to a
Honestly,
venue.
we found out about this today, and I'll take it.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it sounds really, yeah, we're really excited about that. Like just to play a show,
It's a show.
Mhm.
to load in at the Bootleg. Like that's.
I never thought I'd say I missed loading, but I missed.
You're right. Yeah. I know. Well, at least you're doing that. That's cool. I've heard a little bit about people's like opening up a little bit, but who knows how this is all going to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of there's tours in the spring, like full on. So hopefully those will not get canceled.
Yeah. I forgot who I was talking to. It was pretty recently though that they're talking about playing shows in somewhere in the East Coast. It might have been Florida, where they're selling like 400, 500 room venues and then breaking it out to like 100 people, or setting up like 25 tables of 4 people on a table. So everyone's kind of separate, but you can actually be in the venue and watch a band play, which is cool. So it'll be an interesting, hopefully it just ends and everybody can tour and move back to normal.
It's still relatively far away. The spring is still relatively far away. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I imagine it will, but
you never. Yeah. Well, hopefully.
I remember thinking like, oh well, our first single comes out in July, so we'll be good to go.
Right. Yeah. Because everyone was assuming like, oh, October. Coachella reschedules October. I was like, oh, we're good. That's fine. And then no.
And music performance too is definitely last on the list. I can't think of something that would be more, crowded and.
Right. Yeah. But that'll be the last gathering. Because they're like being with sports right now. They're not even doing that. It's just empty stadiums.
Yeah.
Cut out heads.
Yeah, but we're all adapting. I think a live we're all adapting, and I think like watching a band at a venue is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think that might carry into that might carry over, because it's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah, I know the one cool thing that's not cool, but like the thing I do appreciate and like about what's going on now with everyone at home is like with the live streams, like you can see your favorite artists in their own like environment, like I'm watching, we're talking and you're in your home studio at your house, like where you recorded your record. Like we wouldn't be having this conversation probably if at least over online, if this was going on. So it's interesting to see like, Billy Joe from Green Day's like living room and he's playing guitar or whatever. It's like, well, that's where he lives. That's cool.
I saw that, by the way. Of course, he sounded really good.
Of course. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that stuff's kind of cool. So I hope it continues a bit. But obviously, seeing a live show is a million times better. But yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I have one more question. I want to know if you guys have any advice for aspiring artists.
Oh wow,
shit, that question's hard. That question's hard. I feel like someone like Dave Grohl could answer that really well.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I think all I can say is that around the age of 19, for me, I knew I wanted to do music. I moved to LA pretty quickly, and it took, and it takes a really long time. But it doesn't really matter because you love it, and you can have jobs or whatever and stuff. But just I guess it's just, and even if you do have some moderate success, it's still really hard. There's still going to be, we always say it moves kind of like this. It's very cyclical. There's a lot of ups and downs. So if it's something you really want to do, just be aware that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and be willing to put in the work. And, and it's okay to have a day job. I think for us, like, we never really had a plan B. We tried in our like mid-20s to get real jobs. It didn't really take. Like, it just we were just kind of destined. We just always wanted to be in a band and just write songs and tour and come up with album titles, song titles, album covers. That's what excites us. So there's really, like, you just kind of have to, like, you basically, yeah, if that's how you're designed, you're just gonna. It's almost like we didn't really have much of a choice, because we literally don't have a choice. So, like, pretty sure I got fired, I think, every job. Yeah, if I was doing well at my previous job, I probably. But yeah, so there's really nothing. I think, like, and you have to be like. I never really wanted to be anything else. I thought about it, but and it may not be exact. Like, we were in so many bands and so many different formations of so many projects. You don't really know what's going to click, and so you just got to keep. I always say, like, rinse and repeat, and you just you don't know what's going to click. And this project, it worked, but nobody saw the 10 other ones that didn't. So there's that too. So whatever you can do to continue to allow yourself to continue to focus on writing music. Bring it back.